Well, this is fun. We get to draw a spinner. On a certain circular spinner game, the spinner lands on red half the time, on green a third of the time, and the rest lands on blue. Well, you got to kind of think here. You got to know some stuff about your fractions. That's half. And half the time it's going to land on red. Okay? And then a third of the time, now it's hard to draw a third if it's part of a half, but that's about a third, and it doesn't necessarily matter your drawing, your accuracy of drawing, as long as it's labeled accurately. And it said then the rest of the time it lands on blue. So this smaller sliver here is blue. We got to figure that one out. The probability that you're throwing 3 darts that all land on blue, that's where we're going to need to know the probability of that event right there. So we know that we've got 1/2 plus 1/3 is basically most of it. We want to find out the blue, so we need to be able to subtract that amount from 100%. So let's at least see what all this represents here. We can't add these up until we get a common denominator. That common denominator is going to be a 6. So to get that to be a 6, I've got to multiply the top and the bottom by 3. Gives me 3 out of 6. Don't reduce that, by the way. You'll end up with a 1/2. Multiply this by 2 over 2 to get that, plus 2 over 6. Again, don't reduce that either, because now we can combine these together. We have a common denominator. That denominator is 6. We can add them now. We get a 5 out of there. We get a 5 out of 6. So 5 out of 6 represents all of this. That means the blue, the probability of it being a blue, is 1 out of 6. So the probability that we throw the darts 3 times, all of them landing on blue, that means we're going to multiply 1/6 times 1/6 again times 1/6 again. You might make an argument that, well, if it lands on 6, there's less space available for the dart. Let's assume that that doesn't affect the probability, so the probability remains the same each time. And 6 times 6 times 6 is equal to 216. So the probability is 1 out of 216. Hey.